right, what started in Los Angeles has gone national. Anti-ICE protests have grown across the country with demonstrations in places like San Antonio, Baltimore, Detroit, and Spokane, Washington. Meanwhile, parts of downtown LA were under a curfew for a second night in a row, but that didn't stop some people from protesting. State and local leaders are going to court today to try to remove the National Guard and Marines from the city. And I want to bring in CBS News correspondent Elise Preston, who's been following the developments from LA. Elise, good to see you. So describe the atmosphere for us. What is it like in that part of the city where you are?
Well, we are in downtown L.A. this morning. Good morning to you, Tom. And you can see it is quiet. This is the second morning in a row that Angelenos are waking up to a curfew. The curfew expired just about an hour ago. And right behind me is the federal building where traffic is flowing. You can see about a handful of National Guardsmen are out front. There's just one lone protester out here this morning. I can tell you with the curfew, it went into effect at 8 p.m. last night. And we do know that there were a handful of arrests of protesters who were in the area at a nearby park about a half mile from here. The mayor says that this curfew is necessary to maintain some sort of safety, especially as there is what she believes this federal presence in town that she thinks is escalating tensions. And so the city is hoping that this curfew will stick around over the next several days or as long as needed to help quell the protests through the night.
Elise, it seems like this is sort of a cyclical event where in the mornings it's a little calmer, afternoon into the evening it gets a little more intense where you are. A lot of that, obviously, concern about some of the federal boots on the ground. What do we know about the emergency motion filed by Governor Gavin Newsom to block the military from helping with the ICE raids?
Well, it's just that. The state has said that this is an unlawful militarization and that the government, the federal government, has overreached here. So they do not want this military presence. All along, local and state officials have said that they can handle what is happening. And so we're expecting that hearing to take place a little later this afternoon, where a federal judge in San Francisco will rule on the case. Meanwhile, the president still is arguing that what he is doing is what is in the best interest of Angelenos right now. He tweeted overnight that, it is quiet, it is calm, and that is an impact of the military. But I can tell you, Tom, that the National Guardsmen have pretty much stayed here. We have seen them going out with some ICE enforcements and protecting not only the federal property, but also the agents who are carrying out these operations. But as far as making arrests, it has been local law enforcement doing that.
Elise Preston, yet another day of protest coverage for you. Stay safe. Good to see you. Thank you. And for more on the ongoing anti-ICE protests, let's get over to CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand. Natalie, she's at the White House. Trump is standing by his decision to send federal troops to LA, and the National Guard has also been deployed to Texas. What's the sense here? Could troops be sent to any other cities?
Hi, Tom. Well, in Texas, it was the Republican Governor Abbott who decided to call in those National Guard troops into San Antonio ahead of a planned protest there. So that was at the governor's discretion. As far as other cities go, we have not heard any announcements by the White House of additional cities receiving National Guard troops. But we know that the administration and the president has said that they are watching to make sure things do not get out of control anywhere. The administration maintaining this is about protecting federal law enforcement on the ground and also federal property. And so that's why they're really doubling and tripling down on their decision to send troops to Los Angeles. Elise was referencing a social media post saying, that LA is safe and sound thanks to these troops. The president maintains that Governor Newsom should, quote, be thanking him. We know instead Governor Newsom, the California governor, is actually suing him, saying that this was an illegal takeover of CalGuard units. And there's actually a hearing scheduled for later today over this very issue.
Okay, so we have the protests and the controversy going on in Los Angeles. We have pockets of protesters popping up who are anti-ICE in other cities across the country. All of that sets the backdrop for this upcoming weekend. The president's military parade is happening this Saturday, and Trump has warned protesters would be met with force. So what are you hearing from the White House as we gear up for that big military parade on Saturday?
Yeah, Tom, the White House press secretary was really pressed on that issue. What does that mean, that protesters would be met by force? And she had to kind of explain that the president still completely supports peaceful protest and First Amendment rights to peacefully assemble and make their views heard, but that they're really worried about any potential violence, and that's what they will be guarding against. We know on Saturday, while that military parade and celebration for the Army's 250th birthday will be taking place in Washington, D.C., there are demonstrations planned in cities and communities across the country by organizers of what's called the No Kings protest. Now, the organizers say notably that they have not scheduled an official one here in Washington, D.C., because they really want the focus to be in these communities elsewhere, Tom.
Natalie Brand reporting for us from the White House. Natalie, thank you for coming on.